So today was another hard day at work. I had a lady literally tell me that my eyes were too big and that it was very aggressive and not very feminine. So just Hey everybody, it's Ashley. Welcome back to my channel. I've been gone. It was another really long unscheduled break. So I just thought I would check in, chit chat with you because I feel like I've done a lot of self-discovery during this time period, so it was somewhat productive. I don't have an MS update planned because I have still not contacted my doctor. I just keep forgetting. Maybe I'll have one of those for you in the future, hopefully. But we'll see. So, as you all know, I went to Mexico for like my birthday / my friend's 30th birthday. We were all really safe. It was a really fun time. We all got tested before we came back. We were negative, so everything was great there. And I did a clothing haul for that, and then I've just been gone ever since. And I felt like I had no reason to not want to film. I was really hard on myself, and I know that I said I was gonna try to not be, but it's me and it's myself, and I'm like my hardest critic. I'm like my worst enemy. But I just was like, okay, you have all of these ideas, because I have ideas, but anytime it gets down to like doing it, I just always felt like, I'll push it off. And then I kept pushing it off, and then it would just never happen. And so I was just sitting there really yesterday. This really all came to me yesterday. I was sitting there and I was thinking, I was like, why do you not really have any motivation to film? Well, I really think it all boils down to how I set up my life. And as I've said, my life is great. Like, if teen me heard about like where I'd be at this point in time in my life, I would not believe it. Like, I am literally so proud of how far I've come, of my relationship with my husband, with my family. Like, everything is great. But I did notice that a large part of my life revolved around school. So, I mean, from the time that because I even did pre-K, so from pre-K age all the way up until like last August, school was my life. That's all I did. That's all I focused on. And I feel like not being in school, somehow like I lost a huge part of myself. And that seems really weird to say because I really did not like school. I did not care for school at all. I know I needed to do it, but like I did not enjoy it. I did not have a great time. That I Love College song, never identified with that. But I realized that I hyper-focused on school and on grades so much so that now that that's not there, it's just like I don't have the motivation to do things like I thought that I would. I used to think that I was like super motivated person. Like, I was getting my schoolwork done a month in advance. I was that kind of person, and I was just very organized, very like, you got something to do, you're gonna do it kind of person. I was doing so much at that time too. I was working a full-time job. I was going to school full-time. I was doing an internship. I was still like doing so many things all at once, and I just felt like I was such a motivated go-getter kind of person. And now that I don't have school, I feel like maybe I'm not as motivated as I thought, or I'm not motivated in the ways that matter. Looking back on it now, I'm just like, girl, that stuff, like, that's such small stuff. It really does not matter in the grand scheme of things. You can still be successful. You can still like have this life that you're proud of, even if you're not doing a 4.0 in school. Like, most people, a lot of people don't get a 4.0 in school and they are still successful. A lot of people don't go to college, period, and they're still successful. There's a lot of people who don't go to school and they're so successful. So in my mind, I was just like, you know, A is for Ashley. You have to get A's. No matter what class it's in. Doesn't matter if other people fail it 2 or 3 times. Like, you have to get it right, and you have to get it right on the first try. And so I put a lot of pressure on myself. And now that that pressure is gone, I feel like I just don't have that drive anymore, which is, now that I'm thinking about it, it wasn't drive, it was really just pressure and stress that I put on myself, but I feel like I don't have that anymore. And it's just been taking me a long time to kind of come to terms with that my biggest motivator for the past, like, basically almost 25 years of my life has been chasing grades and making this like facade of like, oh, I get straight A's, I'm a 4.0 student, like I'm at the top of my class, when in reality none of that really even mattered. And I'm like looking back at my life and I'm recognizing, like, and once again, I'm totally happy with where I am, everything is great, but I'm looking back and I'm seeing, you know, you gave up a lot in that, because there were times where I didn't go out with my friends. I didn't even have a lot of friends to begin with, because I didn't think I would have time to juggle school and a ton of friends. So I only had like 3 friends at any given time, which is fine because I'm an introvert and that's probably all I could handle anyways, like realistically. But there were times where I didn't go out with like my family or my friends because I was like, oh, I have this school stuff due and I need to do this and I need to focus on this. And to a certain extent, that's okay. But I felt like there was not a balance. I felt like I was really out of balance and school was like the top priority over everything. And now that I don't have that, I'm just like kind of struggling, like, okay, do something. It's just like that pressure that I had on myself is gone, and it's almost like I don't know how to work. I don't know. And I hope it's like this makes sense. It might sound really, really dumb, but I think this is like a large part of why I've been so absent from YouTube. It's just that like that motivation is gone, that pressure is gone, because I don't really know what I am without school. And before anybody says, well, why don't you just go back to school? Never, because I really do not like school. I don't like school. I don't want anything to do with school at all. So I'm not gonna go back to school, but it's just like weird living life without that constant pressure when that's all I've ever known, because that's all I've ever done to myself. Now that that pressure's gone and I'm in my job, which I do really enjoy, I've noticed that I've become really, really good at like turning it on. So I can go from being really stressed out to like being like, let's go do group, guys. Like, let's get motivated. Let's be happy. Let's like think about how to problem solve and like overcome our obstacles and how to manage things, and like just trying to be upbeat and positive, because for a lot of them, this is not positive. They don't want to be there in the first place. But I just try to switch it, because it's not about me. I don't want people to be like, oh, she doesn't seem happy today. Oh, she must be stressed out. Like, I want it to be solely on them. How can I help you, kind of thing. So it's actually kind of creepy how quickly I can just be like, yay, let's go. Let's do it. And so I thought that like getting off of work after doing that practically all day, of like faking it until I make it, that I would have to get behind the camera and like do more of that. And that was another thing that I just was not motivated to do. I didn't want to put on like fancy makeup or put on a nice like shirt and like, you know, I didn't want to do any of that. I didn't want to pretend. And so that's another aspect of just like not being motivated, and then also just not wanting to fake it. I don't want to have to try to be fake and to seem like everything is great and dandy whenever I'm just kind of like drained. And so that was another thing that has just been kind of keeping me away, which that's once again something that I talked myself into thinking that needed to happen, that I needed to pretend like everything was great and fine. But I mean, I just felt like I had to. I don't know. It's weird. So this was probably all over the place and probably doesn't make a lot of sense, but I just wanted to kind of let y'all know my unfiltered thoughts. Other tip for me is to not pretend like everything is great, like I'm all chippy and happy and like I didn't get told that I was freaking I've been told a lot actually that I'm not gonna say on YouTube, because it's number 1 explicit and number 2 racist, so we're not gonna go there. So
and hopefully get back into doing YouTube some more, because I do have ideas.
I've just been kind of stuck for a little bit. So yeah, if you made it this far, thank you so much. Thank you for not unsubscribing for my inconsistency, because your girl, in all honesty, is struggling, but I'm trying to work on it. It's just taking a lot longer than I thought, because of course, even in that sense, I put pressure on myself that I needed to get it together, but you know, it's me. I have to live with me. Can you imagine? Can you imagine having to live with this? What a nightmare. Oh my gosh. Okay, self-deprecating humor. It's all fun. It's all a joke. Don't get upset. Don't get upset. It's fine. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe down below. Let me know what you would like to see from me, and I will get around to it eventually. But that is all for me, and I will see you next time. Bye.